Sean King doesn't throw around comparisons lightly, but even he sees shades of Jameis Winston in Shedeur Sanders, not in arm strength, but in mindset. Sanders is wild like a gunslinger, confident, aggressive, and hungry to push the ball. And while the Browns struggle to put points on the board under Dillon Gabriel's cautious style, Sanders' mentality could be exactly what the team needs to snap out of a defensive coma. Yet week after week, Sanders stays sidelined.
If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
While Cleveland drifts closer to another wasted season, if Stefanski is watching the same film, he knows what Sanders brings: urgency, swagger, and a break from predictable play. With Gabriel's safe throws getting them nowhere, it's Sanders' mentality that could turn games, and maybe the season, around. His preseason command of the offense wasn't a fluke. It was a preview. And now, with the community rallying behind him and winnable games ahead, the question is no longer if he'll start. It's whether Stefanski has the nerve to make the move before it's too late. It's been a brutal season for the Cleveland Browns. Frustrating, stagnant, and after that humiliating loss to the Steelers, completely disheartening. Every week feels like the same tired script. A sluggish offense, missed opportunities, a quarterback too afraid to make mistakes, and a coaching staff too proud to make changes. And right in the middle of it all, Shedeur Sanders does something that sends shockwaves through the city. Not on the field, but off it. He gives away a car to a family in need. No cameras flashing, no press tour, no franchise involvement. Just a personal act of generosity that strikes a chord with fans across Cleveland. It's not just a nice gesture. It's leadership. The kind this team hasn't seen in a while. The kind this city has been desperate for. While the team is stalling out on the field, Sanders is winning over the people. His popularity surges. He becomes a name on everyone's lips, not because he's throwing touchdowns, but because he gets it. He understands what it means to show up, to represent something more than a jersey. Meanwhile, the actual offense is floundering. Dillon Gabriel, the guy the coaching staff refuses to bench, continues to play scared, safe, passive. It's textbook risk-averse football, and it's draining the life out of the season. He's cautious to a fault, more concerned with not messing up than with actually winning. And the result? A flat offense that can't find the end zone, can't build momentum, and can't energize a fan base that's already running on fumes. And this isn't just a rough patch. It's a coaching crisis. Because at a certain point, you have to ask, what's keeping Shedeur Sanders on the bench? It's not his attitude. It's not his leadership. And based on what we saw in the preseason, it's definitely not his talent. He brought energy to the offense. He took shots downfield. He got receivers like Jerry Jeudy involved. The whole system looked different with him under center. There was speed. There was risk. There was life. It was everything this team is lacking right now. And still nothing. Kevin Stefanski, for all his experience and calm demeanor, is doubling down on a system that clearly isn't working. That decision has now become the story. Not the defense. Not the schedule. Not the injuries. The story is his refusal to make the one move that everyone, fans, analysts, and even former players, can see needs to happen. Sean King, a former NFL quarterback, didn't mince words. He pointed out that Sanders' mentality mirrors that of a true NFL gunslinger, a Jameis Winston type. Maybe not the arm strength, but the same fearless mindset, the willingness to take risks, the belief that big plays matter more than perfect stats. The kind of confidence you have to have if you're going to survive in this league. Confidence Gabriel just isn't showing. And here's the worst part. Sanders is ready. The fans believe in him. The city believes in him. And based on his actions, it's clear he believes in himself. He's already shown more poise, leadership, and engagement as a backup than most starters show in a whole season. The only person who seems unwilling to believe is the one holding the clipboard, Stefanski. And it's not just bad optics. It's potentially season-defining. The Browns are walking into two very winnable games, the Dolphins and the Patriots. These aren't juggernauts. These are beatable teams. If the Browns can find a spark, if they can unlock the offense, if they can stop playing like they're just trying to keep games close, and start play like they're trying to win. That spark could be Shedeur Sanders. But right now, it's being smothered under layers of coaching ego and conservative play calling. Stefanski isn't just sticking with the wrong quarterback. He's risking the entire season in the process. And for what? To avoid admitting he might have made the wrong call? That kind of pride gets coaches fired. The timing couldn't be worse either. Ownership has just greenlit a massive new stadium project. It's a public signal that expectations are rising and patience is thinning. You don't invest in a stadium without expecting a team worth watching. You don't ask fans for commitment when the product on the field feels like an afterthought. The owner's watching. The fans are watching. And the coaching staff is suddenly feeling the weight of every single decision. If this team continues down the same path, same quarterback, same plays, same results, there's not just a risk of losing games. There's a real danger of losing the locker room. Because players know. They feel it. When a quarterback isn't getting it done, when the offense is stuck, when the coaches refuse to budge, they know. And when a guy like Sanders is putting in the work, stepping up as a leader and connecting with the community, that kind of example speaks louder than any post-game presser ever could. Players follow energy. They follow leadership. They follow belief. Right now, no one believes in this offense, but they believe in Sanders. That's not an accident. That's what happens when someone acts like a franchise quarterback, even when the title hasn't been handed to them yet. And the pressure's only growing. Fans are starting to turn, not just on Gabriel, but on the people protecting him. They see Sanders' preseason performance. They see his mentality. They see how alive the offense looked with him under center. And they see a coaching staff pretending it never happened. You can't ignore energy like that. You can't ignore momentum when it's banging on the door. If Stefanski keeps starting Gabriel and the Browns drop these next two games, that's the ball game. That's the season. The schedule only gets harder. The stakes only get higher. And at that point, starting Sanders wouldn't be a bold move. It would be a desperate one. And that is the difference between leading a team and chasing one. There's still time to be proactive. Still time to make the call that changes the course of the season. Still time to show the team and the fans that this coaching staff is willing to adjust when things aren't working. But that window is closing fast. This is about more than stats. It's about identity. It's about trust. It's about whether the Browns want to be a team that plays not to lose, or a team that actually plays to win. Because Shedeur Sanders might not be perfect. He might throw picks. He might take risks. But right now, he's the only one who's shown any willingness to actually try something. And that mindset, that fire, is exactly what this team needs to survive this slump. This isn't just a quarterback decision. It's a culture decision. It's a statement about who you are as a team and what you're willing to risk to find greatness. The question is no longer, is Shedeur ready? The question is, why isn't he starting already? Let us know what you think. Is it time for Stefanski to make the switch? Should the Browns finally give Sanders the start he's earned and inject some life back into this dying offense? Drop a comment. Hit the like if you're done watching this team play it safe, and don't forget to subscribe. We got plenty more chaos to cover if things don't change fast. Kevin Stefanski is out of excuses. The Cleveland Browns are staring down a moment that could define not just their season, but their entire identity as a franchise. A team with defensive grit, a passionate fan base, and a city desperate for forward momentum is being held hostage by one glaring decision: the refusal to start Shedeur Sanders. Every headline, every post-game debate, every heated sports radio call is circling back to one burning question. Why is a backup quarterback doing more to lead this team than the guy actually on the field? Let's break it down. The offense under Dylan Gabriel is dead on arrival. It's all there in the tape. Drive stall before they start. Explosive plays are non-existent. The playbook might as well be written in grayscale. There's no creativity, no pace, no fire. Gabriel isn't throwing picks, but he's not throwing punches either. He plays like he's trying not to mess up his resume, not like someone fighting to win games. It's conservative football at its most maddening. And week after week, Stefanski watches it unfold without blinking, without changing, without admitting that something isn't working. But while the offense drags, Shedeur Sanders is quietly becoming the heartbeat of the city. Not with stats, not with touchdowns, with leadership, with presence, with a gesture, a card giveaway that took one act of kindness and turned it into a movement. That moment wasn't just feel-good fluff. It was a message, one that said, I'm here, I see you, I care. It's the kind of thing that cities like Cleveland don't forget. It's the kind of thing that makes you a franchise cornerstone before you even take a snap. But here's what matters most. This isn't just about what Sanders is doing off the field. It's what he's already shown he can do on it. The preseason wasn't a fluke. It was a preview. He played with tempo. He made reads quickly. He pushed the ball downfield and gave receivers space to make plays. He wasn't perfect, but he was bold. And that boldness is the missing piece right now. Sean King called it out. Sanders plays with that gunslinger mentality, the kind you see in quarterbacks like Jameis Winston. No, he doesn't have the same raw arm talent, but he's got the same edge. That willingness to roll the dice, to make the throw other guys won't. And sometimes, that's what separates a team stuck in a rut from one that breaks through it. Right now, Dillon Gabriel won't take those risks. And Kevin Stefanski won't take the risk of replacing him. But why? Because of pride? Because of loyalty? Because Gabriel is the guy on paper? Let's be clear. There's no room for pride when the season is slipping away. You either adapt or you watch everything fall apart around you. And this isn't just about one game or 1 week. This is about trajectory. This is about culture. This is about whether the Browns are going to stay trapped in a cycle of hesitation and second-guessing, or finally step into something real. And that decision has never been more urgent. The Dolphins and Patriots are next. These games are not just winnable. They're must-wins. They're the fork in the road. And going into those matchups with the same cautious game plan, the same hesitant quarterback, and the same flat energy isn't just a mistake. It's sabotage. Sanders has the tools to change that narrative. He proved it in August. He's proving it now with the way he carries himself. And still, Stefanski won't pull the trigger. What is he waiting for? Another 3-and-out montage? Another lifeless red zone trip? Another we just didn't execute press conference? Fans are done waiting. They've seen this before. Year after year, new faces, same story. The coach trusts the system more than the players. The front office sticks with the safe option too long. And the season drifts into that slow, familiar fade. But this time, it's different. This time, there's actually someone waiting in the wings who can make it better. You don't have to squint to see it. The preseason evidence is right there. The leadership is right there. The locker room probably knows it too. And if Stefanski doesn't act now, he risks losing more than games. He risks losing belief. And in the NFL, once belief is gone, it's over. That's when the locker room tunes out. That's when fans start chanting for your job. That's when ownership starts making quiet phone calls. Let's talk about ownership. The new stadium announcement just dropped. It's a huge deal. Massive investment. Flashy blueprints. Big promises. But stadiums don't win fans. Winning does. And if the team isn't performing on the field, no one's going to care how many luxury boxes you build. That stadium isn't just a real estate project. It's a spotlight. And now that spotlight is turning up the heat on every decision this coaching staff makes. The stakes aren't theoretical anymore. They're financial. They're visible. They're political. This team needs a statement. A real one. Not another, we believe in our guys' speech. A move that says, we're not here to coast. We're here to compete. Starting Sanders wouldn't just be a football decision. It would be a declaration that the Browns are ready to take risks. That they're done sleepwalking through Sundays. That they're willing to bet on the guy who's already won over the city. Because the alternative is what we've already seen. Gabriel playing small ball while the team withers around him. Stefanski hoping something magically clicks. Ownership pretending everything's fine, while fans check out. The city deserves better. The team deserves better. And Shedeur Sanders has earned the right to show what he can do. He's not just a backup anymore. He's a symbol of what this team could be, if they just had the guts to try. So what happens next? That's up to Stefanski. He can keep pretending that playing it safe is the smart move, that sticking with Gabriel is a path to stability, that the fan base will stay loyal no matter how boring the football gets. Or he can face the reality. The team is stuck. The fans are furious. And the answer is standing right there, waiting. This isn't about hype. It's about action. Sanders is doing everything right without even stepping onto the field. He's proven his leadership. He's demonstrated his commitment. He's shown flashes of what this team could look like if it just cut loose. There's no more room for excuses. Start Shedeur Sanders. Change the story. Salvage the season. Show the fans, finally, that this team is willing to fight. The moment Shedeur Sanders handed over that card to a family in need, something shifted in Cleveland. Not just in the headlines or on social media, but in the emotional core of a fan base that's been beaten down, let down, and burned more times than it can count. That one gesture, completely outside the playbook, sparked more pride than anything this Browns offense has done all season. That's the real story. And it's not a coincidence. Because while the team flails on the field, while Dylan Gabriel keeps dumping the ball off on 3rd and long, and while Kevin Stefanski clings to a strategy that's dragging the season underwater, Shedeur Sanders is out there reminding people what leadership actually looks like. And he's doing it all without even stepping on the field. You could call it inspiring. You could call it PR gold. But in the context of what's happening to this team, it's embarrassing. Not for Sanders. For the people ignoring what's right in front of them. Let's not rewrite history here. Sanders didn't come into the season as some high-profile draft pick. He didn't waltz into training camp with guaranteed reps or a sense of entitlement. He had to earn everything. And when he finally got his shot in the preseason, what did he do? He gave the offense something it's lacked ever since the regular season started: juice. He pushed the ball downfield. He threw into tight windows. He took command. Guys like Jerry Jeudy, who've been invisible for weeks, suddenly came alive. The energy was there. The confidence was contagious. It wasn't perfect, but it was productive. And it was clear to anyone watching that Sanders had something this team desperately needed. Fast forward to now, and you'd think none of it ever happened. You'd think the Browns were locked into a playoff spot and didn't want to mess with success. Instead, they're 2-4, coming off a humiliating loss, with one of the most lifeless offenses in the league. Gabriel is playing scared. The game plan is more like a survival manual. And week after week, it's the same excuse parade. Execution, timing, rhythm, growing pains. But here's the truth. None of that changes until you change the quarterback. Because Gabriel isn't just playing cautiously, he's playing passively. And passive quarterbacking is a death sentence in the modern NFL. You can't dink and dunk your way past offenses that are daring you to beat them. You can't grind out drives when your quarterback refuses to take the shot. And you definitely can't build momentum when the guy under center is allergic to risk. The Browns don't need a robot who can execute short throws. They need a spark plug. Someone who's going to step on the field and force the defense to react. Someone who might make a mistake, but might also hit a 40-yard seam route that lights up the entire stadium. Shedeur Sanders is that guy. He's already proven it. So why is he still holding a clipboard? Let's be honest. We're past the point of wait and see. The next 2 games against the Dolphins and Patriots are make or break, not just for the playoff hunt, but for the psyche of this team. If Cleveland drops those games and continues down this uninspired path, the season is effectively over. Morale tanks. Fans tune out. The narrative becomes irreversible. And what will Stefanski say then? That he was waiting for the right moment? That he didn't want to disrupt the locker room? That he had to trust the process? Because if this is a process, it's broken. And the refusal to adapt isn't strategy. It's stubbornness. Even former NFL quarterback Sean King saw the writing on the wall. He said what everyone else has been thinking. Sanders plays with a type of aggressive mindset you only get from real competitors. He might not have the arm strength of a classic NFL prototype, but what he does have is that intangible fire, that fearless energy, that edge. That's not something you can coach. You either have it or you don't. And Sanders has it. Gabriel, at least right now, does not. And we can talk about system fit and scheme familiarity all day, but at some point, it comes down to this. Who gives you the better chance to win? Right now, it's Sanders. He's connecting with the community. He's setting the tone in the locker room. He's shown he can move the ball. The only thing he hasn't been given is permission. What's holding Stefanski back? Is it pride? Is it fear that if Sanders succeeds, it'll expose just how long the wrong guy's been playing? Is it some outdated loyalty to the original game plan? Because while he hesitates, the clock is ticking. Fans are watching. Ownership is watching. And let's not pretend the new stadium announcement isn't a factor here. That flashy project isn't just a celebration. It's a spotlight. It raises the stakes for everything. And if the Browns can't build a winning product to match the glossy renderings, that pressure is going to fall squarely on the coaching staff. This isn't just a team problem anymore. It's a brand problem. And that makes the decision even more urgent. Because what's the better story? A team that stayed loyal to a lifeless system and collapsed under pressure? Or the team that made a bold, season-saving decision to unleash a young quarterback who had already won the heart of the city? Sanders isn't just a quarterback option. He's a narrative shift. He's the kind of change that sparks belief, not just in the locker room, but throughout the city. And when belief comes back, so does energy. So does momentum. So does hope. Right now, there's a team on the brink, a coach under fire, and a quarterback waiting to ignite something bigger than himself. All Stefanski has to do is let him, because this can't keep going. You can't keep running the same plays with the same quarterback and expect different results. You can't keep selling the idea that it's not that bad when fans are watching drives end before they even begin. There's still time to turn this around. Still time to take a risk that might just save everything. But that time is running out. And every snap Gabriel takes without improvement is another sign that the Browns are stuck. And it's not just about losing games anymore. It's about losing faith. The longer Stefanski delays, the more it starts to feel like fear is running the show. And teams led by fear don't just lose, they fade. Quietly, anonymously, and permanently. Is that really how the season ends? Or does someone finally make the move that the entire city's waiting for? You already know the answer. It's the decision that's been begging to be made since preseason. The one that could unlock the offense, lift the locker room, and send a message that the Browns are still fighting. Start Shedeur Sanders. End the indecision. End the hesitation. Take the shot. Because if this team's going down, at least let go down swinging. Do you agree it's time for Stefanski to hand the keys to Shedeur? Is this the moment that could define the Browns' entire season, for better or worse? Let us know in the comments. Tap like if you're ready for change. And hit subscribe. We'll be right here when the next chapter unfolds, whether it's redemption or regret.